And so I have 30 minutes to deliver what I've been asked to do here. I was told to talk about the impact of high impact relationships and networks in the journeys of people. So I've been asked to talk about how to build and sustain high impact relationships. So for context, you're about to have one of the most interesting 30 minutes of your day, and I dare say by extension your year. All I need from you is your rapt attention for the next 30 minutes thereabout. Do I have it? All right. So I got thinking, when I do keynote addresses around the country, I always ask for, at the barest minimum, an hour, because I always want to drive home my point to the very best of my capacity. But because I know we're pressed for time, I got thinking, I don't want to give an introduction. I don't want to move up to the climax and then end the stuff because I do not have enough time. And so I got thinking, what do I do within the space of 30 minutes that I would ensure leaves you with so much impact? And so I decided to give you 7, I want you to write it down, 7 truths about high impact relationships. If time permits, I could give you 2 more, but I'll leave it at 7 truths about high impact relationships. 7 powerful truths about high impact relationships. Well, the very first truth, are you ready? Is that high impact relationships are important. High impact relationships are important. By the way, it's a pleasure to see my friend from way back, Flourish Ubani. I knew her when she was still Flourish Chukura. She was in mass communication. I was in sociology. She was a year ahead of me back at Covenant University. Incredible lady. She was actually our head of chaplaincy. She was a student chaplain female. And I'm not surprised. She's gone on to do amazing things, even in the real world. So good to see you, Flourish. It's a pleasure. All right, so I said I'm going to give you how many truths? What was number 1? I said high impact relationships are extremely important. Listen, it is impossible for you to do anything substantial and anything monumental without the help of people. It's impossible. We live in a world today where some people try to act like lone rangers. Sometimes intentionally, other times maybe not. They set out to walk with a mantra, I can do things on my own. I can be bad all by myself. I know to send people. Does that phrase sound familiar? Well, newsflash. If you know to send people, it means automatically people will not send you. And nothing great that stands the test of time is ever built by just an individual. An individual can be the visionary, an individual can be the catalyst, an individual can be the vessel through which the idea was birthed, but an individual cannot be the person to see it from ideation through to execution. It's impossible. You're going to need people. And so if you're that kind of person who thinks you can do great things from where you stand all by yourself, newsflash, you will never accomplish anything. But then I'm also cognizant of the fact that for some people, it could be because of maybe what we call natural inclination or proclivities. You're naturally shy. I know. I'm pretty much naturally extroverted, but I know some people who are actually introverts. You're not really trying to be a lone ranger. It's just that naturally you're not so predisposed to human interactions as much as other people are. But let me tell you, you need to come out of that shell and that web as fast as you can without actually losing your identity. It is possible, very possible. But the thing I'm here to tell you is to stress the importance of high impact relationships. There's so little you can do on your own. So little. For example, what if I told you that it is near impossible to get the best job or the job of your dreams without the help of people? For example, there was a statistic that showed that about 85% of jobs that are filled in organizations, I think in the United States, are actually filled through networking and not by application. In 2012, as a 200-level student back at the university, the then human resource manager of Unilever came to school for a career fair day. And speaking, she made some very bold statements. She said, and I quote, 70% of the people we employ are people who know people. And I go, why would you say that? People are listening. Are you not trying to elevate nepotism over credibility? Blah, 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 blah. Several years down the line, I understood exactly what she meant. When she said 70% of the people who employ are people who know people, she wasn't saying that the people they employ are not credible. But the truth is that even the people who recruit the most want to save themselves energy. They want to save distress. And so they always look for efficient means at going about all that they have to do. And this means that in most cases, to save yourself the stress, you would in most cases refer more to recommendation than applications. As someone who is an employer of labor myself and has the privilege of employing almost 50 people around a couple of businesses, I can tell you for sure that many of the best brains we have recruited have actually been people who know people. And by people who know people, we don't necessarily mean that one governor will sit in a very high place and say, employ my son. No, I'm saying people who know regular people. And so it's important. High network relationships are important. Now, I did all of this to kind of also define what you might be thinking high impact relationships might be. It's not necessarily a relationship with a commissioner or a minister of power. No. It starts simply by connecting with people who are perhaps like minds. It's important. And so you can do so little by yourself. You're going to need the help of people. And what if I told you that getting employed through recommendation is one thing? Getting promoted through recommendation is also another thing. I tell you this for sure. A whole lot of people get to the office and start acting like Lone Rangers. I don't really care. Have you heard those kind of statements like me? I know to send them for this office, so when I come, I do my work and I come out. That's why in 10 years, you haven't gotten a single promotion. And all the people that entered with you at graduate training level have been elevated from one height to another. It's because you don't understand that as long as human beings exist, and as long as you're working with human beings, there are certain dynamics. And so you're being funny. You call it eye service. Some of you say it's being political. But guess what? I tell you it's networking. I tell you it's networking. See, there are some doors you cannot open from the outside. Someone has to open it from you from inside. And so it's only quality relationships that help you get into those rooms. And so it matters if your boss likes you. It does. It might not matter who doesn't like you, but it matters who likes you. It does. It does. As little as kneeling down in the morning for a boss that is 20 years your senior. Some will say she's doing eye service. For you, it is respect. They take note of it. They do. And so pay attention because it is important. It is important. For example, there was a statistic released by Harvard Business Review that says that leaders who cultivate diverse, high-level networks are 45% more likely to be promoted. 45% more likely to be promoted. And even for you in business, the same applies to you. It is impossible for you to successfully scale an enterprise from a minuscule level to an elevated one without what we call OPM. OPM is other people's money. You're going to need people's money. And no one will entrust you with their money until you have forged a given level of a relationship with them. This is important. So that's number one. Did that help you? Did that bless you? We're just getting started. Number two. Why are high impact networks important? This mic is wounding me a bit. I might need to turn it off. You hear me? Is this better? It's more uncomfortable, but I think I'll use it. All right. Okay, so but you're with me still. Good. So I said number two, right? So number two, why are high impact networks important? Makinde, is that you? How you day? How have you been? I'm so sorry. I just saw one of the funniest people I know. For context, I've known Makinde for I think almost 10 years now. Like 8 years? 7 years. So good to see you, by the way. You look sharp. Anyways, number two, right? Number two truth about high impact relationships is who you spend time with shapes who you become. Did you hear what I said? Who you what? Who you spend time with shapes who you become. Let me say this without any form of apology. You rise and fall to the level of your network. You what? You rise and fall to what? To the level of your network. And so there was actually a recent study from MIT that actually showed that individual performance naturally increases by 15% when surrounded with high performers. When what? When surrounded with high performers. And so I said all of this to say that the reason you will remain where you are, or the reason you would deteriorate, or the reason you would ever be pulled up to another level is a function of the people you surround yourself with. I'm going to tell you this for free. You are usually the average of the top 5 people you spend the most of your time with. And so it matters. And it goes without saying you are more impressionable than you think you are. The average person in this room is more impressionable than they think they are. Can I tell you, ma? You might claim you don't care, but you care more about what people say about you than you think you do. You care. You care. In fact, apart from what people say about you, you care what other people do. And I'm going to tell you why this is important. Because sometimes, consciously, you could block it and claim not to care. But your unconscious has a mind of its own. And before you know it, your unconscious mind gains ascendancy above your conscious. And so I'm saying this to say that what you expose your mind to is what you become. In many cases, the main reason people remain at a mediocre level all their lives is because they have not surrounded themselves with mirrors of possibilities who can catapult them to a desired level. And so it's a major truth about high impact relationships. They are important because you need people. You need someone who has, in one way or another, gone ahead of you and can propel you into greater heights. This is important. As human beings, we are gregarious people, and gregarious people are impressionable. You might think it's not important, and you might think that people's opinion does not get to you. You might think you have a mind of your own until you get to Twitter, and what someone said in passing is actually playing in your mind all through. You know what I'm talking about. You know. And which is why I'm always telling people that you have to be careful about your exposure. For example, you have to be careful about what you follow and who you follow. This is important. There's a reason it is called an Instagram feed. It's because it is food for your mind. That's what it is. It's important. And so in the same way, the people you come in close contact with have the greatest say on your life. Because a man is a product of what he sees and who he hears. This is important. And so high impact relationships are key. If you are going to make impact, you need to be in the circle of people who can push you to become a better version of yourself. Did that help you? That was number what? All right. Number 3. I'm getting to the thick of it now. Is that high impact relationships are built through value and not farming. Tell your neighbor, say value and not farming. You can't farm your way into specific circles. You can't. It's built through value. I'm telling you this because a whole lot of us have become too fascinated about other people's high value relationships, and we think they got there automatically. Can I tell you for sure? I tell people this every single time I get the opportunity to speak on similar topics. I said, look, if you walk up to a high net worth individual on his way out of a conference and you try to talk to him, I said there's nothing that stands you out, because whether you like it or not, a million other people have tried talking to them. I said what will stand you out is perhaps some unique value proposition. Your ability to tell them exactly who you are and why you are worth connecting with. This is important. Why are you worth connecting with? Let me tell you for sure. Anybody that you have seen who has a semblance of a kind of life that you desire did not get there by wishful thinking. They got there by giving value, which means that they value their time. And so if they are going to give you any share of that time, you have to come correct. And so when I hear people make statements like, I can't wait till I meet this guy, the question is, what will you say when you meet him? When he finally sees you, will he find you worthy of a second conversation? Oh, you want my number to discuss what? To discuss what? To discuss what? You know, I remember one of the people I had wanted to meet almost all my life. God divinely orchestrated it in a way where we met in more or less a Kairos situation. And when I finally got to meet him, he loved my presentation so much, loved me so much. When I got back to my city, he brought out his phone and said, give me your number. My EA was there. I don't do fanboy every time. I'm an Ebenezer Obey fanboy. Apart from him, a couple more people, and that's about that. I don't quake when I see, no matter how high net worth you are, I'm fine. But this particular man, I loved him so much. And guess what? Because he was in the room when I delivered value, he was what? The one who was proactive enough to make the first step to build a connection. You know why? One of the things that makes high net worth individuals, high net worth and high impact is because they know value when they see it. And they want it. And so my question is, stop being too excited and stop being so much in a hurry to meet people or grow your network or meet high impact people. The question is, are you high impact in your own way? This is important. And listen, by high impact, I don't necessarily mean you have to be the most popular person. Popularity and fame doesn't always equal success. Popularity does not mean value. There are popular people that I will see come in, have 1 million followers on Instagram, and I always run away because I cannot have 10 minutes talk with them. There's nothing upstairs. And so it's not about the following or your popularity. It is, if I give you 2 minutes of my time, will I live with something tangible? This is important. Very important. So you must always lead with value. In fact, many times lead with value and not a pitch. I'm hearing some noise somewhere. Please, can it reduce? It's distracting me. Sorry. Thank you so much. But are you with me? Are you with me? So I said, a whole lot of people, for example, are a little bit too pitchy. You are too pitchy. When you see people who have made it to a particular point, the first thing you want to go and do is you want to pitch how they can help you. This is my portfolio, sir. This is my song. This, calm down. Calm down. For example, you must have a calculated introduction. It was Yasikan who said, if you don't have an introduction, you must be ready for a rejection. And so it's important. Your introduction must talk about the things you've done and what you are currently doing. And in some cases, it should talk about what you can do for the person. But my question is, don't be overly pitchy. Don't be overly pitchy. And another thing I must tell you for sure is this. Sometimes it will take time. It will take time and you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with it taking time. Can I tell you this for sure? Sometimes, greet the person. Let the person, can I tell you this one is a hack and it's a truth that I've learned. Take it from somebody who moves from conference to conference with high network individuals, and for somebody who, by the privilege and the grace of God, has been able to connect with many of them by virtue of online exploits. In fact, many of them even send me messages to let me know how much they appreciate what I'm doing. And I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. If you don't have anything to say to someone you've always looked up to, appreciate them. Appreciate them and let it be that. I'm telling you this because if you prematurely try to overly build a relationship when you do not have anything solid going for you, quote and unquote, at the time, it might flop your chances in the future. I'm telling you this for a reason. And so sometimes it's okay to know that product, sir, I have this idea that will change the world. Me and you both know that idea has not changed your room. You've not even worked on the idea. Why are you doing this? Why? And so it's okay if you just walk up to the person, oh, sir, I followed you for a while. You inspire me to do better. I will tell you one thing for sure. Those things get to me more than people that try to overdo it. I'm serious. And so listen, I'm not telling you that you have to have so much going for you before you strike connections. I'm simply saying, lead with value. And if you think you do not have anything totally valuable to say, sometimes leave it at an introduction and let that be that. Amen? Amen. And understand also that it will take time. It will take time. You don't wake up into a thriving relationship. You know what I'm talking about, those of you dating. It's called talking stage first before you even enter the relationship. I know I'm saying there's some Gen Zs and Gen Alphas here. I escaped Gen Z by a bit, so I will yab you. If it's paining you, come and collect the mic next edition. But let me tell you, You people are too young to understand what free call 12:30 to 4:30 was. If you were in that generation, wave at me. Ori ekpe, where you no go get money for phone, but you make sure say 100 naira a day. One day I made a mistake. I messaged the lady by 12:29. So 5 naira come out. I could not now make online call. All night call. You people, I don't know the generation you grew up in, but this was our own. I think it was from 12 o'clock or something, or to like 4:30 or something. Oh, Jehovah. That was the life. Then if you really want to get into a relationship with anybody, you will talk. You must do midnight call like for 2 weeks. Am I making sense? No be now where you go person Instagram. She fine? She no fine? Hello babe, can we? That's that. Not, then you will build it on proper communication. And after a while, she gives you physical audience and you guys can take things to another level. Listen, if that is the modus operandi for romantic relationships, why then should networking be any different? Some of you are a little bit in a hurry to become first place in the mind of other people. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Some of you, when they give you an inch, you take a mile. You take a mile. I have phone numbers of some of the wealthiest Nigerians. After they gave me their number, some of them have not messaged them till today. Some of them, after one interaction, I've just left it like that. And we'll be connected. Sometimes we will see. You see, it could be that you will see the person 1 year after or 2 years after. Oh my God, Olushola, I've been meaning to see you, and that's it. But here's my point. Never be so much in a hurry to strike a connection or move it to another level. Give it. Give it. Thank you very much. What number are we? So number 4 is give it time. Okay, I'll give you almost 9. Let's rush. I hope that's okay. Are you bored? All right, let's move on. I'll give you number 5. Okay, number 4 now. Okay, so let's say give it time was part of is built through value, right? Okay, fair. I just did number around from my head, so let's move on. Number 4. You must be committed to wetting the relationship through honor and showing up. Did you hear what I said? You must be committed to what? Wetting. You know when you say someone whets an appetite? You must wet it. You must wet the relationship. Relationships, like I said earlier, are built over time, but they are built strategically. They are built strategically. They are built also through honor, particularly for vertical connections. This is vertical, this is horizontal. So vertical means between someone who is on top and someone that is seemingly what? Below them. You build it through connections. I'll tell you something weird happening in my life right now, and please pay attention. Something very funny happened recently. At some point, I was employing, I needed a new driver, right? So I was employing 2 people. I needed a new driver, but we had gone through a different process. And about 100 different people applied for the role. And I was like, what am I going to do? I need just one driver. And so my team and I shortlisted. So after my team did it, shortlisted, they had the first interviews with the first people, and we selected just 2 people to come physically. And so on that day, I employed just one person, but then the other guy was too good to let go. So I called my brother and I go, bro, you need a driver for your wife. She complained that she's been stressed driving from mainland to the island, blah, 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 blah. I made sure I found a way for the guy to get what? To get a job. Guess what? He got a job. I had my own driver and I was busy with my life. A couple of days after I employed this guy was my birthday. And then my EA tells me, 2 days after my birthday or a day after, says, someone delivered a gift to you and dropped it at the office on the mainland. And I said, okay, no problem. Who did it? And he said it was my brother's driver that sent me a simple package of apples. Now let me tell you something. If the guy grows up, dies, his children grow up, die, I will never forget what he did. I'm telling you this for a reason. See, I will give you this trick and it will change your life. In a world where everybody is always looking for what they can take from people, always look for what you can give. And let me tell you something. What you can give or what you should give doesn't have to be something big as you think it is. See, this is a secret I live by. The guy gave me apple. When he gave me an apple, I noticed a constant theme with the guy. He gave me. I didn't even know he gave me. It was later on I got to my brother's house, months after that. I said, oh, thank you for that. I saw it. I made sure he knew I saw it. But apparently I noticed it was constant with his character because my brother's wife had a birthday not too long after. He bought her a gift out of his small salary. Recently, my mom mentioned that, oh, his wife gave birth to. I told my brother this morning, I said, give me your driver's number. I want enter something into an Asa. Making Asa touch small. Are you getting my point? Listen, I don't even think the guy was doing it to get. He was simply doing it as some form of what? Appreciation. Here's my point. Many of you have been working with a boss who has been nice to you for 5 years. He has not chopped your 1 naira before. You could be the biggest undoing for your own breakthrough. You don't know. And let me give you a simple trick. You see, wealthy people actually appreciate very simple, cheap, but thoughtful gifts more than you think. They do. They appreciate it. And here's my point. You should wet relationships with honor. I, for example, don't visit anybody without going along with something. Even if it's biscuit 5 naira. Even if it's biscuit 5 naira. I would tell you something weird that happened several years ago. I remember then I was still, during my NYC time, young hustling boy. Immediately after NYC, I was about 21 then. I always went to my pastor's house, Apostle Emmanuel Loren, by the way. So I used to go to his house every single time. I always went with something very simple. And so one day, I went into his house. I just went to visit him randomly. And I bought orange. Then orange was 20 naira, 10 naira. I bought like 100 naira worth of oranges and I dropped it on his table. And I overheard him telling one of another pastor and I said, he said, Lucky, this boy, they take care of me. And I'm like, taking care of you with 100 naira? Let me tell you something. They appreciate it more than you think. Listen, there's such a thing as investing in the emotional bank of somebody. You see, Rennie, she was at my wedding last year. I will never forget. She has gone, but I will never forget. I'll tell you why it was important to me. She's an Ajala. She's always out of the country every time, right? It was my wedding. I was about dancing into the reception. I saw she and J-Bombs there. I say, hey, how you doing? Most people forget what happens at their wedding, but I will not forget. And such a thing as investing in showing up for them. Sometimes it could be a birthday text. Sometimes it could be that you noticed that his cufflinks went off at a meeting you saw him at. Even though he has 101 cufflinks, if you buy him a small cufflinks and label it, I saw your cufflinks go off at the last conference, kindly take as a replacement. He would appreciate it. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you wet it by what? True honor. By investing in what? In these people. In a world where everybody wants to take, what do? You give. You give. You give. You give. You give. There are specific parts of the money I make every year that goes into buying gifts for the people I love. I don't want anything in return. Just take. I love you. That's why I'm doing this. Did that help? Did that bless you? That was number what? Hey, I have just 2 minutes. Jesus. Okay. It means I can't give you everything I wanted to give you. So what will I do? Okay. Okay, just adjust a bit for me. Thank you. I'm grateful. Do I get a few more minutes? Woo, thank you so much. Let's get right into it. So that was number 4. Okay, number 5. I have to rush as fast as possible. Number 5 is this. Credibility is the greatest catalyst for growth in HNI relationships. Can I tell you this for sure? If they ever give you a chance to prove yourself, don't mess it up. If you are ever recommended for anything by someone you revere, do it like your entire life depends on you. I'm going to tell you why. It's because there is nothing that a high impact individual values more than his reputation. And so if they put themselves, their lives, their mouth, and their career behind you, don't go there and mess things up. Are you aware that it is harder to rewire a relationship or rebuild a relationship than it is to build in the first place? If you lose their trust, now only God will help you. And so here's my point. More than always making mouth and saying, sir, I can't do this. Sir, give me a chance. When you are actually giving that chance, you must show up correctly. You must what? Show up correctly. And what will ensure that you show up correctly? What will ensure that you make the most of your kairos moment is what you do in your chronos. Which means every single day that you are waiting for the God-given opportunity. You know, many of you wake up and say, God, bro, if only we just the waka, I see $1 million of floor. First and foremost, that will never happen. But listen, your $1 million opportunity might probably come. But the question is, are you truly equipped to make the most of it? So it is what you do in your waiting season that helps you actually show up correctly at such an instance. Am I making sense? And so the question is, are you really ready? Many of you read the David example and think that Saul was stupid enough to entrust the entire fate of the nation of Israel, as big as Israel, on the hands of a young guy who just had stones. You are a joker. David wasn't just some guy who had a sling and some 5 stones. He was a proper wrestler and a proper fighter because he proved his mettle in other ways. When he came before Saul, more than being a musician, he showed his CV. He says, I killed a lion and a bear with my hands. That's why he was given the opportunity. And so, newsflash, when you've given your CV and they finally give an opportunity to prove yourself, make sure you come correct. Make sure you do. If not, you might never taste such an opportunity again. And it is not God's fault, it's your fault. Because God is always in partnership with you to advance your life. This is important. That was number what? Number what? Hey! Time fails me. Let me give you... I have 6. 6 and 7. Okay, so I'll give you number 6. Let me give you this as number 6. And listen well. Networking isn't just vertical, it is also horizontal. Did you hear what I said? Networking isn't just what? It's also what? What's vertical? Right? What's horizontal? And so vertical relationships is between maybe a mentor or a leader and a follower. Yes or yes? But what if I told you that horizontal relationships in many cases often work more magic? I'll explain. A whole lot of you are looking for ready-made friends, and that's your biggest undoing. That's your biggest undoing. Anytime you come across or be around a particular celebrity who is doing something you desire, you forget all your friends. You rubbish all your friends. You became friends, you want someone that had a semblance of popularity. You and your friends, your childhood friends, no longer mingle again. Kilode, why? Listen and let me tell you this, and I'm sure it will help you forever. It is this. The future $10 are sitting here in these rooms. But the reason you will never benefit from their stardom is that you despise them when they were relatively unknown. That's why. Stop looking for ready-made friends. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody you see that is accomplished had people who believed in them when they were small. The question is, which friend are you believing in? Which friend are you speaking life into as we speak? Which one? Which one? Okay, how? I love it. I love it. That's, for guys, it's bromance. This one's 6 months. I'm serious. Which friend? Which friend? Can I tell you something? It's easier to be guys with your friend after they have blown because you were there for them in the early days. If not, it will be like Famzin. Am I lying? And your friend will now go on TikTok. This life. That day when we did for who? They despise us. They pour me spit. Don't let them use you to pa later because you talk down on them in the early stages. Here's my point. Right where you are, start looking and spotting potentials in your friends. This is important. Because if you go alone, you will go fast. But if you go with people, you will go what? Far. It will only be lonely at the top if you did not go with people. The top doesn't have to always be lonely. You can start with your friends, build with your friends, go far, and go long with these same people. But it will start by spotting potentials in them. Whenever they tell you they are coming up with a new idea, don't be so quick to shut it down. Don't be. Sometimes let them know how much you appreciate it. I'm not saying always tell them, yes, friend, yes, queen, go for it. Calm down. Critique the idea constructively in a way that does not tear them down, but gives them the avenue to go and revise what they thought was a meaningful proposition. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is important. And so you must be honest. Yes, not the one that you go and tell your friend I cannot sing that I can sing. You go and mess up our Project Frame auditions or Nigerian Idols and you'll be laughing and covering your face. I'm simply saying spot potentials in your friends. Celebrate their wins to the best of your capacity. Can I tell you one thing that I want you to learn? A whole lot of you, in all of your prayers, you always think that God's way of blessing you is by pushing you, elevating you, and taking you to the top, which is cute. But what if I told you that in 70% of cases, when God wants to bless an entire family, he starts by blessing a person. When God wants to uplift an entire friend group, he starts by blessing one. And it is that one that begins to pull his friends up into his networks and his connections. Am I making sense? This is important. Stop despising your friends. Not that friend. Say, I might look small now. I might look small. But I'm headed somewhere big. It's important. So do not despise it. And finally, I'll tell you this for sure. It is that follow-up is key. Follow-up is what? Follow-up is key. Follow-up is important. And so you have to show up constantly. Let me tell you this, and this is where I'm wrapping up with. Thank God I have like 5 minutes, and I don't think I'll overuse it. Let me tell you. You see, now more than ever, it has become easier for you to sustain your networks by virtue of a paradigm shift that has happened in the media. Let me explain. Mummies, I'm sure you can agree with me. For many of you born in the 60s and 70s, you would agree that several years ago, it was ridiculously hard for you to have a friend and genuinely be in constant communication with them. Because maybe back in the day, for you to even collect money from home, they had to paste the money. Then all of you, for example, could even send one friend to go back home and go to each person's family and collect money because there was no means for communication. Gen Zs don't understand, but it was only at the advent of Olusegun Okikiola Obasanjo's administration that we had the privilege of SIM and phone. I remember my mom's first SIM. It was more expensive than the phone. It was that cheap. It was not expensive rather. It wasn't cheap. And so here's the point. They didn't have the luxury of constant communication. They always had to journey before they met people. But listen, we're in a different time. Now communication has been decentralized. So many things are easier, which means you can always show up and follow up better. But let me teach you one thing that would always help you. Sometimes follow-up does not come by always messaging them and saying, how are you doing, sir? I thought to check up on you, which is good, by the way. But let me also tell you how follow-up comes. It comes by you showing up on your own individual platform. For example, what if I told you that currently as it stands, having a follow-back from someone you want to build a network with is more important than having their phone number? You don't get it. I say a follow-back is more important than having their phone number. I'll tell you why it's important. Because for a phone number, you need to be watching when is the perfect time to call, when is not the perfect time to call. Sometimes you send message, they may not see it. Some this one you do, which is cute. Yes, nice. But for follow back, it means they can see all that you are up to without you having to explain to them. And if they don't see the first post, they will see the second one. If they don't see the second one, they will see the third one. Or whatever day they get there, they can see it. So here's my point. Sometimes the reason you are yet to build a high network or high impact relationship is not because you don't have those people at the tip of your fingers. It's because you've not been showing up constantly. When was the last time you did a simple post on Instagram telling people exactly what you do? They are seeing it. They are seeing it more than you think. Sometimes I check my Instagram, I see I had 2-something million profile visits. 2 million profile visits. What are you seeing? What are you looking for? If only you could expose the people really visiting, it will shock you that many of them are the people who come with life-changing opportunities. Many would observe but will not follow yet because they are checking for something. How many of you have noticed that sometimes when you see a post on Instagram, or maybe you see a post somewhere else and they tag the person who made the post and the post bless you, you will click on that profile and you will go and check. What do you check for? And what makes you not follow at that moment? What you check for is you go and check if the person has the semblance of the same level of quality time and again. Yes or yes? It is because when you click a follow button, you want a promise of the same level of value time and again. Yes or yes? And so listen and listen well. You don't build high impact networks or relationships by just showing up once. You have to keep on showing up. It was Rory Vaden who said success is not owned, it's created. Did you hear what I said? Success is not owned. It is what? Rented. And every single day, that rent is due. Did you hear me? Every single day, that rent is what? Is due. Which means that you must be the one to show up constantly. Let's see. There's a way you can be top of mind to people. You are building connections. Okay, I followed you. You have my number. We are seeing each other's status. But all you are showing is, this country. Yeah, this one. Whereas the person will need your service one day. And that day when they show up on the status, they are seeing something else other than what puts you as top of mind. And what puts your service as something they should buy into. So listen, networking is incomplete without follow-up. And follow-up is not possible without you showing up. Does that make sense? And did that bless you? Did you learn anything? Thank you so much. That's my time.